Hello! Ahoy, mateys! It is I, Simon, at Wandering DM. Welcome to our first episode of the second season of Black Flag, our Rapscallion campaign. Today I'll be playing, again, reprising the role of... Where's my sheet? Nathaniel Ashworth? It's the last name. It's the last name I keep forgetting. I want to call him Nathaniel Hawthorne. I don't know why. But it's Ashworth, and he's a swashbuckler and a high-end escort. Think Inara from Firefly. That said, before we begin, before we go around the table and introduce the rest of the cast, I would just like to thank our sponsors, which you can find in the panels down below, beginning with Mage and Press, makers of 5th edition D&D supplements. They also have a Kickstarter going out live at the moment. You can check out the link if you click on their icon, or if you click the link in chat. It's a Kickstarter for a beginning adventure called Conspiracy in the Stars that I got to write a portion of it, a like fourth of it almost. So if you want to check that out, it's D&D in space. Basically, their Kickstarter is already funded, so the book is definitely coming out, but it will also come out with a bunch of goodies. They have a lot of stretch goals right now, level up dice set, Wormwood Dice Vault. They have a whole lot of things. What are the spell cards from the company that did the Deck of Many. So yeah, be sure to check them out. The Dark Matter is an awesome setting, and also if you use code WanderingDM on their website, you get 15% off everything you purchase. That said, our other sponsor today is, of course, Found Familiar, great coffee company. If you want some good coffee delivered to your doorstep, check out Found Familiar at foundfamiliar.com. The other sponsor is, of course, Roll20, the virtual tabletop that we use here to play all of our games. You can see it on the overlay. If you want to play with your friends online, you should check out Roll20 at roll20.net. And lastly, our partners, Level Up Dice. If you crave some gorgeous dice made out of stone, metal, or semi-precious stone, check out Level Up Dice. They just released a set of chip cat's eye dice that look like tiny motherboards in gold and green. So check that out. And that is all for all our sponsors. Back to our game. Hello, cast. It's been a while. Who are you? Who are you playing? Let's start with Isaac. I mean Quentin.
Actually, I'm shopping for dice right now. That was a pretty good plug on the sponsor.
Same, actually.
Yeah, everyone, I'm glad to be back. Season 2, super hype. I'm gonna be playing Isaac Brown. He's the navigator, but he only navigates towards like trouble. He doesn't actually steer the ship. So we'll see how it goes.
All right. Up next is overlay. Alyssa.
Hello, ahoy! I should say. It's been so long. So I am playing our Captain Renata de Rochefort, also known as Captain Major Insecurities. Also, we have a lot of gold to go fetch, so I'm excited to try to figure out how the hell we're going to survive and get the gold.
Oh no, you caught me mid-bite. Lindy, quick, save me.
No. No, we're just gonna revel in this food anime that we have going on here and just enjoy it.
This is Food Wars 2.0. Anyways, hi, I'm Lindy, and I will be playing someone who would save Simon. I'll be playing, let's see, official name that I definitely don't have to read, Josefine de Herrera de Sevilla, Josie to her friends and boyfriend. She's strong. She's a Matalo, she's the muscle, and she's a real girl now. So it's gonna be a whole new world of discovery for her. She's just constantly learning new things, and now she's even more to learn. It's great.
No, I'm not muted. Okay, good. Oof. Shauna, who are you? Who are you playing?
Hey, I'm so happy to be back playing with everybody. And I am Shauna Flanksters, and I am playing Corinne Haley, the ship's witch. And gold doesn't matter because she has released her beloved into the world, who just happens to be a demon. So we'll see how that goes.
And to tell the story of this cast of misfit and horny people, we have the Fates. We have Deirdre. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing okay. It'll be great. I'm glad we're all back. Welcome back to a wonderful Saturday. I've missed you all so much. But then we are here. We are celebrating. We just got a whole bunch of subs. We should also say that there are a bunch of panels down below that if you want to help these wonderful
Oh, the
players,
panels aren't up. I need to put them up.
Okay, so there shall soon be panels down below on how you can help these wonderful players or me do wonderful things and do wonderful tales. That's a thing that happened. But we left off at the end of last season with a discovery of the treasure that you had been on the secret island of, well, not secret, hidden on the island of Diamond, which is north of Granada, at the very end of the train of Caribbean islands just north of the South American border. You had discovered the map and all of its interesting pieces. You had found your way to the hidden grotto that led to a couple traps and then a large room that was sealed. Upon entering the room, you discovered the remains of a dead body, a bunch of gold. There was a moment where the captain, Scrooge McDuck, threw said gold. There was some interesting conversation with some very interesting things hidden and locked in the way in this secret grotto treasure trove. And then you heard cannons. And there was some concern because you felt that you should maybe return and see what's going on with your ship. But that was where we left off. But we're going to start by rewinding the clock just a little bit, as we do. Because we're going to turn to a member of the crew who did not join the trek into the jungles of this very small island. And I did actually look this up earlier, and I have to check my notes. It's technically an islet, and it is doesn't have the size. Why did I need the dimensions here, people? Its area is less than a kilometer. So very small, but densely packed with jungle. And a little hard to get on because, you know, barrier reefs are a thing. Actually, extensive barrier reefs are a thing. But Isaac did not accompany you to this island. He stayed on the ship because he had had an unfortunate encounter with a kraken. And then a slightly more fortunate encounter with something else. But Isaac, you were unconscious and bundled and trundled into your hammock, literally very well tucked in by Josie. There was a stuffed animal given to you to make sure you could rest. And you were sleeping and people had left you alone. Unfortunately, you then are awakened by the worst sound that any pirate can ever awaken to.
Can I move or am I swaddled?
Well, you are swaddled in this hammock to make sure you didn't fall out. Josie was very concerned about you. And you hear the very loud sounds, are awakened by the sound of cannon fire.
Is the bottle of rum tucked in next to me?
There is one. It is, however, corked.
What skill do I have to use to try to like uncork it with my mouth?
Parlay.
Not parlay. That I want to say.
If he's trying to use his mouth, would not parlay be the art of the tongue in this case?
Yeah, but it's not his tongue he needs. Good try though. I appreciate your skill set, your desire to
Isaac's
help.
not used to being sober.
I think what we could do.
I think it would definitely be polish because you don't want to spill the rum.
No, if it falls on the ground, I might cry.
Does Isaac get a penalty to the check for every tooth he's missing?
No. Because pirate status is just pirate status.
And it was polish.
It is polish. And then for those of you who are new here, we're using Magpie Games Rapscallion Ashcan for this game. So a 3. You go to turn your head, and unfortunately, this is a hammock. So the rocking motion of you trying to turn your head spins the hammock and drops the bottle onto the ground. But you are still stuck in the hammock upside down.
I want to start shouting for help. Like, help! Help!
Everyone, we just got a donation for Advantage rum for everyone from Hawkeye.
Oh, thanks, Hawk.
So thank you so much, Hawkeye. This means that the whole party, the whole crew, in this case, has a fair winds for this episode. So we all get an advantage. I'll put it on the overlay for everyone to see. But, yeah. So things might not be so bad after all. Hey, where are my advantages? Ah, there it is.
So you can start yelling for help.
Mm-hmm.
That would definitely be. I want to see. Roll me Spitfire to see how loud you are and how many people might hear you. Because again, cannon fire.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm sure stuff's going crazy.
So it's 5. Remembering, of course, that Rapscallion is a PBTA game, and so you get experience for every failed roll.
But you also don't get what you want.
You also don't get what you want. This is true. You are loud, and again, as you're yelling and kind of thrashing around, you're spinning the hammock, and so it's starting to look like one of those, Looney Tunes sketches where the hammock just keeps spinning and spinning and spinning.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a moment of you stop, and the hammock starts unspinning. So you are slightly, I will say, a little dizzy at the moment. But as you spin again, another shock of cannon fire actually strikes the ship. Not strong enough to puncture yet, but enough to rock the ship. And that actually spins you back the other way, and you end up falling out of the hammock.
It's how I always wanted it. I want to look very sadly at the bottle of rum on the ground, and then try to rush up on deck.
Looking at the bottle of rum is a free action. Lamenting the loss of your rum is a free action.
I'll take the blinded consequence.
You run up on deck and you see the image that what you see is the two ships, well, three other than your own, currently around you. One, you know, is the ship of Captain Jacques Cousteau, the official name of which is L'Épée Cousteau, which but frequently referred to by your crew as a mocking indictment of the crusty baguette. It's what happens when you try and name your ship after a sword. There are puns to be made in any language. One of them, and the L'Épée, I'm just going to call it the Épée for my purposes. The Épée is a larger ship than yours. She is not a full galleon. We said she's a frigate, not a bark. So between a bark, you all have a bark, and it's not as big as a galleon. It's a frigate. She would have you have room, you have a total of 50 guns. She would have she has 2 bays of guns, therefore could have up to about 80, maybe 90, depending on how many things. But she is actively, the Épée is actively engaged and attacking a much larger man of war that is actively firing on you and flying British colors.
Do I see any of the crew? Like I look around, like Captain Renata, Josephine, Nathaniel.
The Captain, Josephine, Nathaniel, none of them are visible right now. It seems the person who is giving orders to most of the crew is Crazy Eddie. And he seems to be doing pretty well. It's a little intimidating to realize that this gentleman is just standing there on the side of the rail with holding on to a line and using that to point to get your guns to fire rather than being a sane person and directing your cannons from underneath. But he is directing. Your crew of lackeys is responding and is firing at this man of war.
I want to run up to Crazy Eddie and be like, Eddie, what's going on here? Where's the captain? And do I see a bottle of rum on him? Like he's always drunk. He's got to have something.
He is not always drunk. He does, however, always have a bottle. And his immediate reaction when he turns and sees you is to gesture and hand you the bottle that's in his offhand. Like one hand is holding the line and the other hand is he gestures and hands you the open bottle, and then he hands you that. And unfortunately, I cannot do his voice today because just not going to happen. And he says, well, the captain and the witch and Nathaniel and Miss Josephine, they went on to the island and haven't been back.
Which island are we at? Is it the island, the one we've been looking?
Yeah, the one that with the treasure and the maps and that kind of stuff. And
so hear me out. What if we just leave and come back and let those two sort it out?
Well, I'm pretty sure there's another one off the port bow. And he kind of turns and gestures, and you see another ship coming around the north side of the island. And I wasn't given orders by the captain to leave, so I'm not leaving yet.
Have we tried parlaying? What colors are we flying right now?
Right now, you're flying the black. Because you had it was just you and the epee, the swallow and the epee, and the swallow escorted the epee into a private pirate smuggler cove to get repaired, and then you made your way south.
Have we tried parlaying?
If you want to call out and parlay, then you can call out and parlay. I'm going to shoot a motherfucker. And he just kind of gestures, and you still have his bottle, so he pulls out a very, like, blunderbuss flintlock pistol. This thing should not work anymore. It's 1688. There are better actual designs, but this thing has a widened barrel, but it's still a pistol. And he takes aim and fires at the man of war. Now, you are within cannon range. You wouldn't really expect yourself to be within pistol range, but what I would like is, can you roll me 2d6 plus 2?
Oh no.
Just think about it. It's a lot of XP. It's a lot of XP.
Yeah, you got a ton of XP so far. What's a
And
little
you
more?
you crit for Eddie.
He hits something.
Oh, Eddie apparently knows enough, and what he does is he fires and he hits the what he shoots, and he's aiming, and you're like, what the hell is he aiming at? It's too low. He's not going to hit anybody on deck. And he isn't actually aiming at the deck. He's aiming at one of the gunners underneath and hits the gunner, and so they can't pull the gun forward, but they've already lit the fuse, so they have their own cannon explode underneath their decks. And then he turns to you and goes,
So proud.
are you taking over now, or am I still shooting people?
You mean I could have command of the ship?
No.
Oh. Do we know who that is following us? That's the Frenchman, and that's just
Well,
the
they
British.
look like English. Yes, they look like they're English. I mean, they're flying English colors. That looks like a freaking English uniform, and I say fuck them.
Do I have a spyglass?
Yeah, I think you do, actually. If you don't, there's one nearby.
I pull out my long spyglass.
You do indeed have a long spyglass.
Who do I see on the British ship? Do I see...
Do you see anyone you recognize? Is that your question?
Mm-hmm.
You do recognize Lieutenant Roland Fitzgeoffrey standing at place next to his captain and giving orders and directing the cannons, or giving direction on the deck. There are a couple other people you recognize from your time in service to the Crown, and they are, British naval officers.
Eddie, this doesn't look good. Do you think we can win?
Define win.
Escape with our lives?
All right. Define win.
Escaping with our hides intact.
I'd give it about a 70-30 that they're going to kill us all.
So we should run. I
I'd
mean,
love to, but I can't run out two of them. I mean, where would you like to go?
we're smaller than they are. We should be able to catch the wind better. The crusty baguette can handle that one, and we'll just go on past.
So a broadside is what you're saying.
Yes, but we just keep going past.
I'm not letting the captain shoot me.
Then we stay here and fight with a 30% chance?
I mean, I've seen worse odds. Your ability to stand upright is always almost an 80-20.
I don't like much about this, Eddie. I don't think we can negotiate. I'll fire the cannons.
I mean, we can negotiate if you want. I'll let you run the flag up if you want it.
They hang pirates. There's not much negotiating.
That is true. So I get to shoot something.
Yeah.
So what I would like is 2 rolls from you, Quentin.
Perfect. I love rolling.
They are both going to be ship rolls.
Ooh.
The first, and remember, you roll in ship combat, each of you has bond with the ship, or has rank with the ship, and that's the amount of bond you add to your roll.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2d6 plus whatever your bond with the ship is.
It's +2.
So +2. I need a ship roll. So the first one is going to be for navigation to see if you can, you're smaller, you're faster, you're a bark, not a heavy man of war. You are more maneuverable. Can you outmaneuver the man of war?
I sure hope so. Okay.
Yes, you can. You take advantage of coming around towards the north side, and you realize that there are some very shallow, there are some shallows that you can get through because of your lower draft, and you don't have as deep a water pull as other vessels. So you can scooch around some of the barrier underwater reefs and underwater rocks easier than this large man of war can definitely do. It gives you an advantage to come around and outmaneuver them. Did you wish to fire upon them?
Yes.
Because you are outmaneuvering them, I would say that you get an additional +1 because you already outmaneuvered them. So you can earn a more advantageous position to fire.
Mm-hmm.
10. You fire the broadside at the right perfect moment, just as you're coming around through this shallows alongside the man of war, and manipulate just enough that they're following you, and they pull into the shallows. You fire the broadside just at the same point that they will run aground, and you hit the mainmast. You're out. The first ship is one ship is out of play. But there's still the other, although the épée is currently engaged in that.
So we're technically...
You are here.
All right, Eddie. I think it's time we sail towards the horizon for a bit. Look, the captain will understand. We'll come back for him. They'll probably be able to survive on there.
And I want to pan the camera on that line to our intrepid crew that is on the island, the four of you plus Kanari and Steve, who you took with you. And you have left you've gotten through the traps in the grotto. You are making your way towards the sounds of cannon fire. And it's a little bit less than half a kilometer in area. This entire island is less than a kilometer in area. Is tiny.
So can we see Isaac's pretty cool maneuver, even if it's a little bit yellow bellied?
You can definitely hear the cannon, and you would probably hear a man of war run aground. It would be loud. The sound of a hull that size scraping on rock, even under the water, would be loud. But you can't quite see them because, again, remember this area here on the map is a little bit of a ridge. Yeah. So you can make out the man of war's top mast begin to fall, but you can't see the swallow.
Looks like your father followed us here.
And that's not a good thing, right?
Oh no, it's not.
Okay, just double checking.
Well, we should see what's happening. Those ships are only way out of this tiny island, so figure out where the salty swallow is. Right, Captain?
Right. So I think I would just like to use command essentially and have Kanari and Steve kind of scout ahead and see what they can see. And have us kind of hunker down in place, especially if we're in like a kind of guarded area, so we can kind of figure out what to do next.
Yep. I mean, like literally,
think I have to roll for command.
You don't. You have to roll for command with players or to see how well you can do under ship combat. But these are your lackeys, so you can just give them orders. And by lackeys, that's a status, right? And again, you left. You did, however, leave. That's why you left Eddie on the ship, because he had the best stats for ship combat.
Yeah, that's true. He's the most experienced, but I need to know where my ship is if I'm gonna go back to it.
You would see about here a large man of war flying British colors sailing around the islet.
Well, this is going topsy-turvy, isn't it? Right. I still want to send them two to sort of get a lay of the land. Like, if that man of war makes it, then, that's a lot of people for us to fight, especially by ourselves.
Okay, so where are you headed?
I'd like to hunker in place for now.
No, I mean, I'm sorry, I should rephrase that. Where are you sending them?
I guess more as like a scouting party out ahead, like sort of towards maybe like if they can get to the ridge and have like a covered site to like keep an eye on things. Yeah.
Okay, so you're sending them on the ridge to see what they can see.
Yeah.
Okay. It'll take them a little bit of time because it is denser jungle on that side of the island versus where looking out to the eastern side of the island is the more windward side. So it's a lot more, it's less dense jungle. The leeward side of the island is the western side of the island. So it's denser along with the ridge. So it'll take them a little bit, but they will work and get that done. And Kanari just kind of nods at you and picks up his big old boarding axe that he's carrying and harpoon gun.
Just a nod of respect to that guy.
Yes, he is the tallest person that you have encountered. Tall, built, gentleman, Haitian. And he's very efficient. But he leaves you and takes Steve, and they are off. What would the rest of you like to do?
Well, Captain, this is quite the predicament. Friday, we could communicate with our ship. Do you have any orders?
Well, here's the thing, gang. We're stuck in the middle of this island surrounded by ships that are much bigger than us with many more cannons, and we might have an ally in this. We have a lot of gold to get out of here, and everybody's having daddy-issued demon problems. So you'll have to forgive your captain here. And I'm just going to pull the hip flask off. I think I need a second. So if you have ideas, please help a captain here.
We heard the man of war come aground, right?
Yes, you would have heard it, and you saw the mainmast begin to fall.
So just one man of war that's still upright.
Yeah, so you saw that one, and then you see the other one coming around on the northeast side of the island.
But the problem is we still have to contend with the crew of the man of war that ran into the island.
Yeah.
Because the more people we have on this island, the less chances we have of getting out with the gold. I trust that the crew and Isaac are going to take care of the other ship. I don't think we can row in the middle of a battle up to either the Swallow or any other ship.
No.
So our best bet right now would probably be to secure the island.
Yep, that's what we got. We just secure our place.
And if we can probably move the guns on deck from the man of war and attempt to shoot at the other one as it passes by.
The Baguette's still around.
I think they're still engaged.
They're still engaged. Yeah.
The Baguette is, again, she's a frigate, so she's bigger than the Swallow. Is avoiding more of the reefs and couldn't go. She has a deeper draw than the Swallow. She's engaging, attempting to engage with the. She hadn't seen the second man of war coming around the northeast side of the island, so she was chasing the man of war that was chasing the Swallow. So
Okay.
she's now firing and attempting to sink the scuttled ship.
Okay. So that handles that one. All right. It's just how do we deal with the other man of wars?
Josie, while this very serious discussion is going on, is touching everything. Like, she's like, tree bark, leaves, because everything is more sensitive now. And she's like, clothing, ooh, this, my hair. And just like holding her breath, like breathing, like trying different ways of breathing, and just, ooh, dirt. That's what she's doing right now while this is going on. Just touching everything and breathing weirdly.
So basically, Josie's on ecstasy.
Basically, yeah.
Josie's on a very bad trip right now. Did somebody bring her a tour? Did somebody bring a tour guide for her?
Arguably, it's a good trip because she's having fun with it. And she seems content.
So long as Josie doesn't try to put dirt in her mouth or something, we're good.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. She's not hungry yet, so she doesn't need to taste all the things. She's distracted with how all the things feel.
I mean, that's fair. That's valid. Feeling everything and trying to get used to it and get it all worked out.
Yeah, feeling the wind is probably very weird.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time. There is an argument to be made, and I'm not saying that the captain is going to make this, that if we call back Inari and Steve and we work systematically, we could potentially attempt to board and overtake the other man of war. I don't know if 6 people could handle that, but there is an argument to be made.
Oh, if they're afraid.
We have demon powers, we have everything, and we get another ship out of it.
Well, a broken ship, but...
No, the fresh one. The one coming around.
Oh, the fresh one. Yeah, but how...
The other one's the baguette's problem.
Captain, how do we board a actively moving and firing man of war?
We're pirates. This can't be our first raid on a boarded ship. We got
It's
ropes.
just normally we
got
jump from
ropes.
one ship to the other.
Together.
We don't swim. I don't know if we can catch.
Josie doesn't know how to swim,
Some of us can catch it, but some of us can't.
Yeah,
and she needs to breathe now.
Oh no, Joy doesn't know how to swim.
that's true.
You gotta
Jesus.
breathe.
She always just sank before, and she didn't need to breathe, so it was never a problem. But now, now it's a complication.
Now she's a real girl, and breathing is
Yeah.
important.
Mm-hmm.
The
So,
most important.
do we assume that the other man of war is coming towards the baguette and its damaged friend?
Coming around the island, you would assume that it's looking for whoever is firing cannons.
Okay.
Because it doesn't have line of sight on its sister ship. But at the same time, again, this island is less than half a kilometer.
And it's also flying British colors.
It is also flying British colors.
Yeah.
Just making
So-
sure.
It is flying British colors. This island is less than half a kilometer. On a good day with clean line of sight, you can see out at sea 5 to 10 miles.
Okay.
You can hear a lot further than that, and cannons are not quiet
No.
at all.
I still want to find a way. I don't know what that way is. I don't know if sending the scouts ahead, they have some kind of vantage that they can give us to see an easy way to get onto that ship. But I kind of feel like that's the more ridiculous option, and that is the option I am inclined to choose as the Blaze of Glory.
We do have the small boat that we brought with us.
Yes, your longboat is down here.
A
At the
longboat
southern
and
tip of the
climb.
island.
Could use the longboat and climb.
Oh yes.
Plus, I would just like to point out Josie is immensely strong and powerful, no matter what this is. And we have your demon.
Yes.
If he's still interested in escaping this island now that he's been freed.
Yes, you bring up a good point. Being proactive about finding a way to escape is to our advantage.
Could a demon repair a ship? Make it float despite the holes?
Yeah, maybe. But if nothing else, like,
Because I'm thinking,
we still have to get out of here with the gold.
if we get the broken Manowar up on the waters, even if temporarily, we can use it to ram into the other one. We're not enough to crew a Manowar, but we're probably just enough to set it on a course, a collision course with the other one.
Yeah, that is a fair point.
Kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
And if any of the, anything on those ships is ours, we take it. I say I think I want to see what the scouts bring back, and then I think that's probably our best bet.
That seems possible. It would be good to get a way out and get rid of these pests.
Yes.
They may take a lot out of me, but I see no other option. Who knows when the Salty Swallow comes back? if they come back, depending if that's the only ship.
I refuse to believe that she's running. I would think that no one on my crew would be a bunch of scaredy babies of a big ship, but perhaps this is just her strategy. And I am missing what the strategy is.
Well, then that's settled. We float the Man of War, take out the other one, and then we can deal with it from there. We'll still have the longboat in case things happen.
Aye.
There is still the matter of the men that are on that boat, though.
Kill whoever we have to, and if we keep, if a few are willing to work as if you take some as prisoner, that will still operate the ship, get them elsewhere. I'm not opposed to that.
Then let's go.
Let's do it.
So, Captain, roll me 2d6 plus 2.
Please don't fail, Captain.
I got an 8. So it's not a failure, but it's also not great.
Moments later, you see coming down the hill Kunari by himself at speed, and comes up to you, Captain, and says, do you want the good news or the not good news?
Start with the good news, I guess.
The Swallow is intact and making speed, and they've taken out a man of war.
Okay. Well, that's good. What's the bad news?
Steve apparently has been listening to Isaac.
And what does that mean?
But yeah.
Which way is he listening to Isaac? Is it getting so drunk that you wake up in pig shit drunk, or is this something else? Don't mince words with me.
Apparently he decided it would be to their advantage if he could sneak on board the man of war.
Well, devil, that was our plan. Right! Let's
He didn't
go.
take a weapon.
Wait, they snuck on board which man of war?
Steve wanted to get on board the sinking ship,
Well,
rob it, and he didn't take a weapon.
Steve is a weapon.
So Steve is currently on the man
Well-
of war that's ran aground, unarmed.
I mean, that's
Yes.
practical, I guess. Bringing a single weapon with that being that vastly outnumbered
Yeah.
wouldn't do you any good.
That's why you carry one like this, and he holds up the harpoon gun.
And I'm
You
just
fire
gonna, I'm
once
just,
and
I'm
then
just
you
gonna
use it to bludgeon everyone in
gently,
your face.
I'm just gonna gently take the harpoon gun and just put it out of people's faces. Because I don't think the big man realizes that when he's holding it up and looking at just trying to show it off, it looks like he's threatening people. Okay.
Well,
Follow suit then, but take weapons.
Oh, so this is a rescue mission in addition to an acquisition.
I found a snake.
No. Oh, Josie, put that down. It might
It's
be
so
poisonous.
scaly.
is
It might be poisonous.
yes.
Venomous. The other one.
Snakes might be a problem now. Does it look like the snake is trying to strangle her, albeit very slowly?
Trying to hug.
Big hug.
It is a small snake. It is not big enough. It is.
Oh.
It looks. It is. It is a maybe maybe a meter long.
That may be
snake.
worse.
Okay,
And
you can
it's-
keep it.
Don't bring that
Leave it.
on the ship. Yes, and it's just like sticking its little. Like, please away.
But
keep that away from me.
Nathaniel, you're the one who's lived most. Anyone who wants to, can you roll me plus Spitfire?
Oh no. No,
I'll
thank
try. I'll probably fail miserably.
I think that's.
You. No, thank you. I do not have good Spitfire. It's a 0 now, but no, thank you.
He's a 4.
Oh wait, I can roll. I can roll Spitfire.
Wait, does that give me XP because I failed?
Yes.
Including me. Should I roll a Spitfire?
If you, anyone who wants to can.
I think out of all of us, Corinne and Josie are probably the.
Oh boy, nope, not this time.
It's
No,
still a success.
Yeah, it's still not a failure.
Yeah.
Josie's
Okay.
a failure, but that's
Yes.
fine.
Josie's is a failure.
The thinnest of
And-
margins.
As you look and people are saying, oh, well, that's fine. She can keep it. Corinne, you look at it again. And you look at it and you start counting. So you're going, is that red, black, gold, or black, gold, red?
Oh no.
Josie, put the
Josie,
nice. Snakes want to stay on the island
Josie.
and not on my ship. I won't allow it to be on my ship.
I suppose I have not seen a snake on the ship before. I just it's okay. It's so
Josie?
silly.
It-
Mhm.
I think that snake wants to stay here. I can talk to it, and it wants to stay here.
You can talk to snakes.
Yes,
Okay.
it wants
She
to be put
just puts
down.
it back like down on a tree, like immediately. Just nope.
And you see, I think as soon as Josie puts you see Corinne just like, it's like
My snake.
you don't want to
Don't
tell
talk to
someone that like, yeah, that snake is poisonous as hell.
But yes. Yes. Do not have the venomous snake on your arm. It'd be bad.
Mhm.
Don't have venomous snakes, period. Snake bad. That's the captain's line. Snake bad.
Josie, for future reference, snakes do not like being handled as much. It's hard to read
Oh.
them sometimes.
Nathaniel
It's best
would
to leave
beg
them.
to defer, Corinne. There are some snakes that love
She
to
will
be handled.
raise an eyebrow. It's like,
Those snakes aren't typically venomous, Nathaniel.
Well, they do spit. Anyway.
Real life player, bottle of rum. Oh boy.
But I learned something new about snakes today.
Yes, you did. You learned about snakes today. Kurnari looks at you and says, so what do you want to do, Captain?
To that ship. We're not necessarily going to rescue Steve, although I wouldn't be opposed to just making sure he has a weapon. You know, he's a smart boy, I would hope. I guess maybe he's not as smart as I thought he was. Anyway, to the ship. We have some work to do. We are going to set that man of war on a course of destruction.
All right. And he starts to lead you over the small rise and down the path trail that he had found towards the inlet. Well, not inlet. I mean, like inlet, I guess, area where some of the British naval navalmen have begun to, abandon ship because they have to, kind of thing. But there's still a whole crew firing cannons at the Epee and trying to make sure that it's out of, as Cousteau is trying to make sure that they're out of cannon distance. Thing is that the way the man of war is, it can no longer adjust the height of cannons for pitch. So there's only one. Their line of sight is limited. Their firing line is very limited now.
Right.
So, you wish to attack this ship.
Well, more like attack the people on the ship.
we're more commandeering this ship for this sinking ship
Mm-hmm.
for a better future.
And I also, in that case, are you being stealthy about this?
Yeah, I'd like to be.
Yes.
I would leave it up to everybody else if you're not gonna if you're going to do something brazen and ridiculous. That's your choice, but
let me
I would
just-
prefer a stealth.
Let me just crew of a manowar.
It would be like 6. It's gonna be like 100 people.
Okay.
It's gonna be like a lot of people.
It's
a lot,
Mm.
right?
how many of us are we on the?
We're 6 people.
Josephine
Okay.
counts for like 10, maybe.
So
We'll just say that.
with the average crew of a manowar being 600 people.
Cool.
They're
I mean, some of them
running away.
Some of them are dead, so it's okay.
People
Some of
have
them.
died. Some
Just
are
assume
abandoning
half are dead.
ship.
It's 300.
The standard in most navies, a good mean between power speed and maneuverability and crew size was the 74 with about 600 crew, which included 60 Marines. A civilian ship of the same class could be operated by as few as 40.
Size isn't everything, everyone. We can do this.
I mean,
This is not a civilian ship.
Yeah, in British parlance, these could range from sloops of war, 120 crew, 18 guns, to 400 to 500 men, 40 to 50 guns.
You're looking at 100 guns. This is a full frigate man of war.
Oh,
Ship of the line, specifically.
oh, it's a ship. Okay. The largest in the Royal Navy carried 110 guns.
Steve, where you go?
And
Yeah.
it's more than 600 crew because 600 is for 74. So, but out of those, like, I'm basing it off of what I'm reading out of game, but like out of all of those, they're not, like the big majority of them are not soldiers. They're civilians.
This is also true. A big majority of them are naval impress, or even they're naval impress. They're not officers. They're craftsmen and cooks and carpenters and bosun's mates and sailors and riggers, stitchers. But you would know that a ship of this size is going to have at least a contingent of about, I think it's like 30 Marines stationed on the ship who are fully trained and designed to just kill people and break things. Because Marines.
So we just need to kill between
Are
10 and
any of
100
them
people
amenable
each.
to perhaps taking the black and joining us?
Why did he give them good reason?
We have a ton of
Wages.
gold on this
Wages.
island.
Yeah. Let's not put that on the table.
We have
Captain?
other things that we can offer.
Their lives, for one thing. Souls.
For one. Rum for another. Freedom for a third.
Yeah. Not have to answer to the fucking British Crown. Oh, and my company.
I wasn't going to pimp you out for this situation. However,
Oh no,
If you were
don't
willing.
know. They're not clients. They couldn't afford me. No,
We
they can
can-
just bask in my presence. That is
for
that
one
is a
guild.
side benefit of working on the Swallow. Just, you get to work with me. The epitome of fashion in the Caribbean.
Suppose the offer is that there is choice.
All right, let's go save Steve.
That's probably a good idea.
All Are you being stealthy about this? Or
Yes.
are you being
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Captain tells me to be.
Josie, join us on this stealth mission.
So-
Be stealthy.
I will
If you
try.
kill quietly.
what is the end goal of our stealth for this thing to get onto the ship? Or
Yeah, we
It's just
kind of
like
want to. We probably can't take it over now. Well, this is turning into a rescue mission more than a brazen takeover of a ship, much too big for us.
I mean,
The original plan was to take it and turn it into a destruction machine against its fellow man of war.
Yeah.
so sneaking on to rescue Steve is the plan now?
I would still like to turn some. I would still like to turn the cannons if I can. They have a limited range and like a limited firing line, but that doesn't mean they can't. I mean, if it's limited, we could still maybe make
Yeah,
some
and
adjustments.
We have to we have to think that maybe the demon can help us get on the water. I mean, I don't think we're going to be able to do, if it happens, I don't think we're going to be able to do some serious damage to the other one, but tangle the masts together and none of the man-o'-wars can do anything.
Yeah,
This sounds like you're breaking in.
it does, doesn't it? Does it
Does.
not? Just breaking in
oh,
1 plus blood. Okay.
well,
So let's see what happens.
Captain, I might not be joining you. I might have an alternative way to get onto the ship.
Is it stealthy?
Most stealthy.
I trust your judgment, Corinne, in this case.
And I am going to invoke my demon's power for this, my beloveds. Help me get on the ship. So I'm gonna spend 2 luck.
You're
To
gonna spend
roll.
2. Ah,
Mhm.
okay.
It's the big power. Power
Yep.
show.
You also all still have advantages.
I am.
Oh. Not that you need it.
Yeah.
You are very easy to, as you sit there. What does this look like when you invoke your beloved
So
in
the
this
same
instance?
thing, like this cocoon of shadow engulfs her and shrinks and just compresses into the shape of like just the most evil looking parrot you've seen. Like it's just like this black parrot with red eyes.
There are such things as blood parrots. They're creepy
Yes,
as hell.
yes, yes. Oh,
And-
yes, the vampire
but-
parrots.
Vampire macaws, I think is the
Macaws,
official
yeah,
term. Vampire macaws.
Parrots.
yeah.
Vampires. So this, with not a cry like you are used to hearing from such a bird, you just see it flit off and start to fly towards the ship. Let's run aground. And make its way towards the fighting that has begun on the, as the swallow has pulled back around and the epee has also swung up from the south and is now engaging in full attempt to sink and kill everyone. Although, I mean, you would expect a British naval vessel to have surrendered by this point. Maybe not. The rest of you, I need you to roll to me to be sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky.
I think this might be a good time to burn that advantage.
Is that a blood test?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's blood.
It's blood.
Yeah, I think I am going to burn my advantage. It's just an extra d6, right?
Yep, 3d6, keep the 2 highest.
Okay. And it's still a failure no matter what. So who cares? Life is meaningless.
It is a
Ugh.
5. Josephine has a 9.
I'm very good with blood.
I have a 9.
Nathaniel and Josephine are being very sneaky together, sneaky lovers going through the jungle. The captain, however, as you are attempting to be sneaky, the bottle that you have been carrying around in your hand, you kind of stumble just a little bit, hit a root wrong, and the bottle falls out and starts rolling down this hill and knocks into a young gentleman in British navy blue who's kind of like soaking wet. His hair is a little fringed or singed, I should say. And he starts looks down and sees the bottle, and then he starts looking around to see if he can find you. And
Oh shit.
Nathaniel and Josie are still hidden at the moment. Josie being very sneaky. And when this young British naval officer sees you, he goes and draws his sword to and shouts loudly in very precise British English, "Surrender, you knave, to the British authorities."
No, I think I'm gonna shoot this guy. I fucked up, but if I'm gonna fuck up, I'm gonna fuck up in the big way. So I'm gonna roll to.
Can Josie and I make sure we're like far away from the captain when she does that?
Yes, you're
It's a good
already.
idea. Yeah, honestly, my failure, use that as a distraction because
I'm following Nathaniel.
that's a good idea. Okay. And plus
Definitely
blood.
still touching things.
Oh, that I roll well on. Shooting this guy that's telling me to surrender, that I roll well on. Doing the actual mission that I planned for, not so much.
You have rolled a 10 plus. You hit, your strike lands, you are going to kill this guy because you shot him. Unless you were aiming to not kill him.
Oh no, 100% just want to kill him.
So he's going to die. Now, here's the question. Do you wish to take advantage of the future bargain? Because you rolled a 12. When you shoot him, it goes right through the center of his head and he just falls backwards, like still brandishing the weapon. But the shot has gone off and it's loud enough to be heard, and there are a couple other people that are starting to look around and see. But you now have, I would say, an advantage over the next two guys who are between you and the coast.
Yeah, I should probably figure that out. So what kind of deal am I getting out of this, basically? I've
You
shot
wanna
this
take-
guy. I'm
you-
tempted to take his clothes and try to blend in. I don't think that would work.
It wouldn't work really well for you. He is an officer, and they would recognize their officers.
You had to be an officer, didn't you, dead guy?
Yeah, kind of. Stealthily. You have the option of having an advantage on your next two attacks, or you can make your way unseen. The problem is you would have the advantage on the next two attacks, but that would definitely draw attention to you.
Yeah. Let me think about that, actually, because on one hand, giving a distraction and letting everybody else go on ahead is not a bad idea if it gets us to the end goal.
Mm-hmm. Up to you.
I'm kind of weighing it in my head because, like, on one hand, the smarter thing would be to just get on ahead and join up with everybody else. But on the other hand, I think I will take the advantage on attacking those guys and act as sort of it's like, well, if I've already boned this part of it, at least I can be of use and sort of distract the rest of them. So I will. I don't think I'll reload the pistol. I'll probably switch to the rapier I have on hand and get ready to kill a couple more Brits.
Okay. Feel free to roll the next 2 strikes you can roll with advantage. So 3d6. Keep the 2 highest. Josie, Nathaniel, Corinne. Well, Corinne, you're flying to the ship. Josie and Nathaniel, what are you doing?
How far away from the ship are we?
You can see it in the water. It's once you hit the water line, which is where you guys are at the moment, it's maybe 10 yards at most.
So we're in the water.
You are on land, but you're at the water.
Ooh. Quiet splashing.
Yes. We can have a pleasure swim later.
I don't know how to swim.
Oh, right. I'll show you. It's
Okay.
just have to keep moving.
Okay.
And we'll approach the man of war. Just out of curiosity, do we see the damage right now that was caused to this ship?
I mean, you see that it's not moving. You see the main mast has fallen. There's a couple cannonball strikes. You definitely can see that it's been taking damage from the cannons. And you also see that you wouldn't see the damage to the hull because that's below the water line unless you're looking for it. But you definitely can see that it's run aground.
And no, like, cannonball holes in the hull or anything like that. Like, it's never been shot at.
It wasn't, no, it's been shot at. That's what took out the mast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because that's the thing you have to remember is 9 times out of 10, if you're firing a cannonball, you're not firing at the water line or the ship hull. You're firing at the mast because those are easy to, what you do. The intention was you fire at the mast, get them dead in the water. Then you have the vessel as a prize vessel.
Mm-hmm.
You would ransom the officers, probably maybe a couple of the guys who are working there, or you would give them the opportunity to work for you. And you could then take the vessel as a prize and you would either sell it or ransom it.
Yeah.
You don't want to necessarily sink it.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I'm mixing it up with Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves is
It's easier to sink and then let the loot come back up to the surface.
Yeah, that doesn't work because
The loot doesn't usually float as much.
It's all metal.
No. Things that are on a ship that would count as loot of a man of war ship of the line aren't going to float. Those are things like cannons,
Cannonballs.
muskets.
All right. So,
What's the plan?
I was thinking of hanging on to the ship's hull,
Okay.
crawling our way to the back of the ship, because Simon doesn't remember what the aft? Yeah, the aft of the ship. And climb up and get into the captain's quarters. Begin with the
Okay.
captain. Hold him hostage. The stern. Yes, the stern.
Okay, so we're going to kidnap the captain.
Well, yeah. Use him as a shield.
Okay.
And then take out the rest of the crew.
Okay.
Or force
think
them
that-
to surrender. you know, in exchange for the captain's lives.
And
or
if they
something.
don't, I can just punch a lot of holes in the ship and make it sink faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I need you to roll me. You've already broken in. You're fine. You're going to be there. Josie, I need you to roll vinegar for me.
All right. +0. Do I use my advantage? Nah, I don't think now is the time. 10.
You and are holding on to Nathaniel, and you realize that it's very disconcerting for you. You're used to just feeling your body start to pull under the water,
Mm-hmm.
but now there's this thing that's pulling, like you're almost staying upright on the top. You're starting to float.
Mm-hmm.
It's
She's never floated before. There's definitely, I think, a moment of panic of like, huh, and then she starts to sink, and that's familiar. But then she's like, but wait, I can't. And so then she tries to relax and just hold on, and it's yeah. But she's quiet
You-
about it.
but you managed to maintain your self-control and not have a major panic attack in the water for the first time.
Mm-hmm. I think once we get to the ship, she turns to Nathaniel and goes, I don't know if I like floating. It's a very weird feeling.
And not a lot of people do.
Okay.
Water's kind of dangerous.
Oh no.
Uh-oh, camera hiccup. But that's okay.
You're in. So you are sneaking on board ship. Captain, you're going to kill a bunch of people on shore.
Nope. Should I roll for my bloods?
Yes, roll
My
your
strikes.
strikes.
Okay, so
You have
first
advantage
one.
on the next two.
Okay, first one.
It's an 11.
11. That's good. We like seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
And for the second one,
An
I mean-
11.
also an 11. So I'm really good at killing people.
It's just boom. And of course, you have like your bandolier of guns. You're just like, boom. Pull another one. Boom. Shots going off as you're walking forward. It's very cinematic of like just, you know, it's that moment of Antonio Banderas in the, oh God, what's the movie? Desperado?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
At the
the
bar.
image of it. Just very chill.
Looks stylish. Your hair just kind of flicks back and away from you. There's a perfect breeze that just kind of catches it. You start to hear you start to hear music playing.
Do we?
You do.
An orchestra appears.
No, I meant
I
out
know-
of
I
game.
know
Should
it's-
we be hearing something?
Yeah, it's playing in roll 20.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, I had it turned off.
Yeah.
I had the music turned like way the hell down. That's why. I was gonna say, I know this isn't remotely. This would be so completely anachronistic in like 100 different ways. But like, is it bad that like I'm a little bit hearing like the adagio for like Barbara's adagio for strings as this is happening?
Oh, I like it though.
It's very good for the visual. It's very, very much not of this time.
Yeah, it's one of those perfect like sound editing things that you would do in the film of as the camera swoops down, follows you, pulls back so it can watch you just full on just pull, shoot, pull, shoot, pull, shoot as you walk by and bodies dropping around you. And then we see the camera swoop even higher over the water. You see Nathaniel and Josie start climbing up the side of the ship with the little rails that are in the side, built into the side of the ship along the stern. You see a black and red large macaw parrot start to swoop down, and you follow that, and it looks like an Assassin's Creed visual from a Falcon's perspective. Synchronous moment. swooping around the side of the masts that are still there. And we see the camera focus in from the bird's view on a figure, tall, debonair, slight bit of an asshole, one Lord Roland Lieutenant Roland Fitzgeoffrey. And they pull, and he pulls. He has a sword in a hand, and he's directing cannon fire. There's a little bit of blood coming from one corner of his head, kind of giving him that dashing, just engaged in battle look. Just that little bit of like the jacket's open and flaring, but he's, standing and defending his crown and being a good Navy man.
Boo.
As
I thought you were my friend.
You have then the camera pulls around, and as the ship, we follow the eye of Corinne. You can just make out the Swallow coming about as it's now in this moment of where the Epee and the Swallow are crossing themselves back and forth, making loops to pull fire broadsides at the sinking man of war. And you would see Crazy Eddie leaning half off the side, kind of swaying and gesturing as the cannons begin to fire, and Isaac with a hand on his head going, why the fuck are we doing this? Standing at the helm, but still standing at the helm. And as the camera pulls down from the view of Corinne and pulls back up, sees a small figure, young, 13, 15-year-old, climbing up the bow of this man of war. And he seems to have picked up a weapon. But it's a little weird. And Corinne, you're looking at that weapon. That's glinting, but not like metal. It's shining in his hand. And that's where we're going to take the break for the afternoon.
Is Steve secretly a Jedi?
No.
No, but he has a shiny sword. See, I told you didn't need to worry about Steve. He's a weapon in his own right.
And then, he's gonna get up onto the deck and then get promptly shot at by the Navy. And that's the end of Steve.
Once again,
we're
Adagio
here.
for Strings is the soundtrack.
We're on the ship now.
So we'll be right back, everyone. Take some time to grab a drink, hydrate, stretch, do all that stuff. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Hello, we are back. It is us, the crew of the Salty Swallow.
About to do some thrilling heroics.
About to do some damage.
So, Isaac,
Mm-hmm.
you are paying attention because you're trying to target and not run aground and all of these things. So you're paying attention to what's going on. But how perceptive or aware of other people is Isaac?
Not very. Like other people on board the ship?
Or things that are outside of your ship?
Oh. Probably not very much. He's very much still thinking about like, well, let's just get out of here. We'll come back.
Okay.
'Cause-
You're gonna.
Oh yeah, because I mean I don't really know that Renato was like, hey French guy, like, yeah, we'll partner up. We're buddies. I'm like,
I did
that guy's
drunk-
a great distraction.
I also did drunkenly confess to you that like I'm not opposed to keeping him around. That had been an established thing, so I guess
Yes.
in your mind, killing him dying is not exactly a sad story.
Next time I'll put a note to the swaddle next time.
Open note to the swallow. Crew, your captain is confirming all of the rumors about her relationship with the captain of the Epée Cruste.
That is true. Sometimes, like you, I'd like a little fondue. And I fondue tell you this now.
That's unique.
Yeah.
I'll go with that. And then
I'm not on my pun game today. Give me a chance here.
it's okay. The pun game will get there. But Isaac, you are attacking and firing, and I need you to roll me a ship attack. Now I need to double check because it's ship moves and it's ship. You fire, the shot lands, but the problem is you've overheated your guns. You will not be able to fire next round. You need to let them cool.
There's just one ship left?
No. You both have been targeting this one, and apparently there's a man of war somewhere that you saw, but you haven't seen in a while.
And the man of war, I can see that it ran aground and it's all.
You see that it's ran aground, its main mast has fallen. You see that they can't re-level their guns because they are aground, so half of their guns are unusable because they're pointed towards the island. Excuse me, the other half are pointed out and they're trying to get broadsides on you, but they can't change the height for the trajectories.
Because they're listing.
Yeah, because they're listing.
Um.
And they are
Eddie.
taking on water. They are visibly taking on water.
Eddie, now might be a good time to sail out of here. Maybe return at night. What say you to that, Eddie?
I don't do nothing till the captain gets back. And you're not the captain.
But I do think I am charged on the chain of command. Like, even Steve is gone.
Nope. see this, and he literally pulls out a piece of paper that has a big heading, chain of command. And then at the very bottom, there's a note. It's like everybody's name. And then there's a note at the very bottom. Never give authority to Isaac. Signed, Captain Renata de Rochefort.
All right, Eddie, there's a bigger ship somewhere around here. What do you suggest we do? We just stay here and keep blasting the one that's run aground, or?
No, I like the idea of shooting something else. That sounds plan. Let's go shoot some more people. I like killing people and breaking things.
But what if we are the ones who get killed and or broken?
That's life.
No. Yes, but it's literally like the life, the one that we have. I'm not ready to die yet.
We're not going to die. We're going to kill people and break things. It'll be fun.
I need to change
Bring
the
her
list.
about.
All right.
So you're going to disengage from the sinking ship at this point and go after the other man of war?
Apparently.
You could try.
Wait a minute. I want to look at the lackeys on the ship and be like, what say you, lads? Should we run or fight? We're free to go now, but we might die if we stay. Any one of you.
It would have been fine had you not added that.
I need
Literally
you
the
to
reason
roll.
why you have no authority.
I need you to roll hoodwink.
Oh, come on. How many luck points can I spend on this?
You can spend 2.
Sweet. And my advantage?
You can.
D6 plus 2. Come on, game.
12. There are a number of people who start yelling in agreement, who are concerned. We'll come back to that moment as you're pulling away. Josie and Nathaniel. You are climbing up the side of the ship of this man of war that is sinking.
Yep. In my head, the Gallivant stealth song is playing.
Well, as long as it's Gallivant stealth song and not Herschel's.
Yeah, no.
Lord, that is a good reference.
Gallivant was awesome.
Yes, it was.
Herschel was not. Herschel was special.
Herschel was awesome in his own way.
Herschel sent my character to be kidnapped by her former abuser. Herschel could stop it.
In his defense, he only kind of knew about it.
I
That's
love
true.
both my children equally.
3 minutes later, I don't care for her.
And now, as you suddenly realize that there's been a channel flip, and for some reason you're getting dialogue from Vampire Nightfall, and then suddenly there's that little switch, and you see the channels bring back and focus in on the pirates
Yes.
of
Thank you.
this black guy.
Can you describe the exterior of the captain's quarters, the state of the exterior of the captain's quarters at the moment on this vessel?
The captain's quarters on the rear stern of this vessel. The main mast has taken damage. The vessel itself is run aground. It's starting to list to starboard, which means to the right, which is where the side the side closest to the island. It means that their trajectories are off. They can't fire their cannons are going too high, and which means that the Swallow and the Epee are not taking damage. There is some minor damage. There's a window blown out. There's some like a curtain blowing in the breeze. There's there's some like papers that have started to fall off the desk because of the listing, but again, this is a ship of the line. Everything is nailed down. Like all the furniture isn't going to move.
No, but okay, so is the hole in the window big enough to let one of us through?
If it's not big enough to let one of you through, it's big enough to reach in and open the window.
Okay, good. I think as we're climbing up, yeah, I'm just gonna take a peek through the hole before shoving my arm in and getting it shot at or cut.
There is no one in here. The door to the cabin is open, leading out onto the deck.
All right.
But there's no one here. You can hear the sounds of orders being shouted, orders for scuttling the ship, keep firing, get the clear the payload, abandon ship. So basically, they're doing everything they can to keep firing while they continue to salvage what they would need and abandon ship.
All right, we gotta act fast.
So that the pirates can't seize any of it.
Yes, of course. Burn the crops and salt the earth.
They are the English.
So yeah, let's jump in. Oh,
Go
stealth in.
through the
Yeah.
window. There's no one in here, so I'm not going to make you roll for the break-in because, there's literally no one in here. You hear sounds of gunfire, shouting. You can see a couple dead bodies through the open door, kind of just like laying. If they're not dead, they might just be bleeding out. People, sailors of various ranks, a couple, people are still attempting to fire. You hear the cannons going off. You see the Swallow has just passed by, and then its last round has damaged the foremast. So another mast has fallen. You're down 2 masts on this ship of the line. You see a black and red parrot swoop around. Corinne, where are you going to land?
If there's any, I'm gonna land near the captains, near the rear of the ship, and just land on some sort of awning, and just keep an eye on what Nathaniel and Josephine are doing.
So you land on the forecastle, which is the little raised back portion of the ship underneath it's above the captain's quarters. The helm is usually there, stationed there. So you're kind of, ooh, wait, I love this image. You land on the helm. That image of the parrot and this big black and red parrot just kind of landing on the ship's wheel. There's no one at the helm at the moment. They're all too busy trying to get off and survive. Nathaniel and Josie, you are on board this ship. You see chaos in front of you. You do not see anyone. Nathaniel, you did serve in the army, Navy, didn't you, for a brief period of time? It didn't suit you, one would say. You do not see any figure of the wearing rank insignia of a captain.
Okay.
You do see Lieutenant Fitzjeffrey on giving commands in the middle of the main deck. Again, the little artful draw of blood along his temple, shirt unbuttoned, coat undone, little, singed, holding a sword. Again, he's an officer, that's not a surprise. And directing crews to get as much of the supplies off the ship as possible, and then starting to abandon the vessel.
Is his back turned to us?
He's kind of in profile at you at the moment.
I'm going to try to sneak up behind him and put my dagger against his throat, like hold him. No, an actual dagger, not my dick.
Can
Thank you for clarifying.
is Nathaniel like kind of like doing that kind of like getting prepped to like sneak, that kind of like posture?
I mean, have you left the captain's quarters at this moment?
Well, if I'm sneaking up on Fitzgerald, like I would have to leave the quarters.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So yes, he's sneaking out from the captain's quarters. You would see him about to do this, yeah.
Can I help him by just kind of giving a momentary distraction to our good lieutenant? Just for a moment.
You can always give him. The thing is that
Oh yeah,
you can give him. You have bond with him.
I do have. Nathaniel's the one I have bond with. I will. Yes.
So you can give him a +1.
Yes.
You can remember. You can also spend bond to give someone a -1.
Either. I'll give. I'll give the lieutenant like a -1 to like be.
Well, no, you have to have a
You have to bond with them.
you have to have a
Okay.
rank with him.
Oh, okay. So I'll give Nathaniel the bond. Give.
No matter how much you try, Corinne will not hinder me.
I wasn't saying that for your purposes.
Mm-hmm.
It's 100% a dig at Isaac.
No, it is not 100% dig at Isaac. I'm just reminding people of the rules.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be unbiased, but I can interpret it.
So,
We love
yeah.
you, Quentin.
He's taking our share.
It's true, wholesome moment. It's so nice to actually have you here to play off of.
Yes.
Yes.
The energy is always so much better when you're here to distract, delight, and horrifically run aground everything we try to do.
I love shenanigans.
But now back to hating Isaac.
That's fair. That is indeed fair. So, Nathaniel, you have +1 to this roll of sneaking in. Breaking in, I would say, is your roll. Unless you have another one from your particular moves that you would like to use.
Let me check. I am not trying to woo him.
This time.
Are you sure you're not?
That might be a solution, though.
A danger woo.
Would solve Corinne's problems with him. So.
I don't know that Josephine would appreciate it.
Josephine, it's strictly for business, not for pleasure.
She has more feelings now because she's a real girl.
Oh no.
Oh,
I have pocket brick.
Pocket Break. It's the first episode of season 2. Pocket Break needs to make an appearance.
Am I going to use Flourish?
Yes.
I don't know, are you? I know Josephine has a rapier in one hand and pocket brick in the other. She's ready.
Dual
Half
wielding.
does.
All right, you know what? I'm going to come up behind him, hold him as an hostage with outrageous style. So like
You're gonna Han Solo in the prison wing this.
Yes.
Just don't do what Han Solo did, and it'll be fine.
No.
Yeah, it's
mean,
more
when
like
in
I
doubt,
come
do
up
what Han Solo
behind
did.
him, put the dagger on his throat, and like shout out like, "Ahoy, lads! We be taking your ship now." I don't know what the
Okay.
accent is, but
I need you to roll. What are you rolling for me?
well, what would be the stat to go with that?
I would say that is blood.
Okay. So I will roll blood. I will
Hold
because
on, let me
it's a flourish. It's gonna be with disadvantage, but I'm gonna burn my advantage.
Okay, so straight roll.
Yeah. I fail.
Oh my god.
No, I got a plus. I fail. I fail.
Why are all of us having these weird rolls today?
I
Just
do a
weird
fail.
roll energy.
You attempt to sneak up on him, and you do manage to get out on deck. However, you were not prepared for the moment when the epee fires another round of cannon fire. And in response, where you thought Fitzjeffrey was, he moves to dodge out of the way of the exploding cannon to his right. You are now on deck with a blade drawn. People have noticed your attention. It's very artful in the middle of like exploding cannons and water shooting up, and Fitzjeffrey kind of turns to you and smiles.
Ahoy!
Not that kind of smile. Captain,
Yes.
you killed a bunch of people to get to the ship.
I did, indeed. I don't know how much further I have to go to actually get to this grounded ship.
About 10 meters.
Okay. And how many people are in my way?
There are a bunch of people abandoning ship now, but nobody's pointing a weapon at you. Like, you can...
But how many of them are there? Because like even if they're not pointing a weapon at me, you know, unless I'm going to turn on the charm and collect a bunch of people to help me follow our aims, I'm not totally sure that even just running onto the island
You
for safety
see
is good.
about 30 people.
Okay. This is a time where I think command of an interested crowd is probably the best move I have to potentially draw in as many of these people as I can to potentially not so much abandon ship, but turncoat and join us in our goal of taking over. It's either that or start shooting to kill and stabbing and all of the other things. Anyone on this island is not a burden necessarily, but they are not a good thing to have because they can find the treasure.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an okay recruitment time, you know?
Yeah. This is a time where I wish I had taken my advanced move of Modern Major General instead of using all of my experience to level myself up in things so that I could, you know, like even out my stats a little bit. But that's fine. I still have command.
You have command.
I got a roll plus polish, which I'm okay at that. And by okay at that, I mean, like everything else that I have stats in, it's +1. It's an 8.
It is a success. That is indeed a success, and I need to double check that move, which
On
is...
a 7 to 9, they're interested in your goal, and then I can pick one. They'll follow my orders for a few minutes. They either get the trained tag or they get the loyal tag.
Yeah, they're not going to be loyal.
I was not expecting them to be loyal, but if I can at least get them interested in perhaps not abandoning their ship, but instead turning against Fitzjeffrey and the other British officers.
They'll work on a
That's-
loyalty at some point. They'll be loyal.
Loyalty can be bought, but getting a trained crew to follow your orders for more than a few minutes, that's where the real, I, as captain, offer you a life of freedom. Freedom that also means that you are technically serving myself and our intrepid commander in Captain Blood. But freedom nonetheless comes with a lot of gold. Lots of rum, lots of options.
The treasure room is a good on board. Is a good.
Yes. We have a whole treasure room that you can come and go as you please. There are the finest treasures you can think of. Jewels, silks, gold, rum. Whatever be your vice, we've got it. But first, you must help me turn your former ship into a weapon for your potentially new ship.
There is some agreement. Most of the people on the shore right now are low-ranking sailors, press gangs. Some of them are bosun. There might be a low-level bosun's mate, a carpenter's mate. They're not. None of these are officers, but they're bodies who are willing to listen to you at the moment.
Bodies are good.
So,
I might hold up the, corpse of the officer I shot, the first one I shot, just be like, no gods, no masters, only the sea.
great. That happens. So they are going to support you. Your goal is to take them back to the ship and use that to seize the ship?
Yeah, sort of to overthrow British officers and redirect the man of war's powers.
As this happens, Josie, what you doing as you see Nathaniel standing out in the middle of a deck with a British officer pointing a sword at him?
I've not been spotted yet. So, I want to just burst out and pocket brick to the face of this officer.
Burst out and pocket brick to face.
Yes. This is my strategy.
I would like to see your pocket brick to the face.
Okay. And I think this is what I want to use my advantage on.
This is.
So it's a blood roll, so just
3d6, take the two highest.
Ooh.
how about
he-
that
14.
pocket brick to the face?
Explodes.
So as this moment of the two
Like I'm just-
fighters are artfully staring at each other, and
Put the sword
Fitzgeoffrey
back.
is smirking and starts to go to say something. Suddenly, there's this just waft of Josie kind of comes up from behind Nathaniel, and boom!
And
Brick
I'd like
to
to remind
face.
everyone that the pocket brick has a little face drawn on it with angry eyebrows and a mustache.
Yes.
So that's what he sees as it just right in his face.
You knock him unconscious with brick to face.
And so and I imagine it's kind of like a tackle brick. So we just both boom hit the deck, and then I stand up with the pocket brick, like anyone else want to try me kind of style.
I'll get my pistol out to cover her.
Well, I mean, you have your sword in one hand.
Yeah, dagger in one hand, pistol on the other.
Mm-hmm.
There are no officers in sight. And a bunch of very scared redcoats are kind of staring at you and slowly trying to raise. One of them is like, isn't sure what to do.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't do it.
I would
Wave the
suggest
brick.
you all get on your knees, man.
Roll plus polish to convince them. Unless you have another move that works for you better.
No,
Oh.
I don't.
And I would like to use my heart of gold and support him in this request he's making with my intimidating pocket brick with its little face on it, and give him a +2 to his roll.
This is not going to be mechanically useful because I use that thing, but I'm going to land on his shoulder and just kind of like outstretch.
I love how it's heart of gold with intimidating pocket brick, and then intimidating vampire parrot landing on his shoulder, outstretched, kind of staring. And
Heart of gold's for Nathaniel.
Okay,
If you're a fan artist, this is the time. This is the art that we demand. We want to see this specific scene.
I'm not going to lie.
And it's a good thing I got all of those bonuses because I would have sucked otherwise.
You're welcome.
The
you.
young Marines are slowly start to put their weapons down.
I can do this with a brick. Imagine what I could do with these swords.
There's that moment of like a couple of them open their eyes real wide, and you realize these are young recruits who may be just older than Steve. And they're like, yeah, no, I'm not. Is above my pay grade. Way above my pay grade. And there's that moment of a couple of them do the Looney Tunes thing where they turn, look at each other, look at you, and then jump off the back of the ship.
That's a fair move.
Captain is coming to the ship with her new command.
A new group of. What's friendship if not a way to, what's friendship good for if you can't intimidate them to do what you want sometimes?
Corinne.
Mhm.
You feel a breeze kind of float through your feathers. A chill breeze from the north, which is where the bow of the ship is pointing.
Oh. Is that other ship close by?
Yes,
other
you
man
see
of war.
the other ship.
All right. For
So
Maximus.
you see. So now we have up here. I'm going to make little marks because I
Mhm.
can
Mm-hmm.
to help. Okay. So red is the ship that is
Mm-hmm.
scuttled. Purple is the Epee, and he's coming up this way, going in this direction. The swallow is going to be, I like teal. Is this one, excuse me, I have to fix that, hold on. It's not right because I did it the wrong way. Is here going in this direction. And then your big old threatening ship of the line is the other red because British, and that's
Mhm.
coming around here, sailing towards you all that way. There you go. It's a very fancy image, which
Nice.
I'm sure somebody might be able to figure out, but it's basically the swallow and the Epee are going in opposite directions. The swallow heading south, the Epee heading north. The scuttled ship is one just sitting there, and the other ship of the line is coming down from the northwest.
Okay. I think for maximum effect for the rest of the people around her, I think the parrot's gonna jump off of Nathaniel's shoulder and kind of midway to the floor, just turns back to Corinne. All right, now that this is settled, well, for maximum effect, we're gonna have to do this right now. The ship's coming, so I'll do what I can, and you do what you need to. Just make sure I'm uninterrupted. And I think she'll get to where the wheel is.
Yep.
Grab
By the
it.
way, you're
Mhm.
still flying British colors. I just want to remind you all.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll show them that the crown has no hold here. Show them who's really in charge. And then she will use her she'll you know what? She has the ring. She will put the ring on to make this more effective. And that's, I'm guessing for flavor, that's where the shadow is gonna, like, all the shadow power is gonna come from.
I mean, it could come from the back of the mouth and the back of your neck.
Both
but
of them.
yes,
I both
Both are good.
both are good.
both are good. But yeah, I think the wind's maybe blowing that you can, like, people can probably see that. It's super scary. It's not. So I am going to use the ninth circle. I'm going to try and besiege my beloved to assist when taking out the ship, because this is the only way that he can escape his prison and we can head back. So I have to roll
Ooh.
rank.
Yeah. How many ranks you have with the demon? I think it's 2.
I have 2 ranks, yep. And then I am going to use my advantage on this. Because it is real bad. Alright. And I have a luck point remaining. I can use luck with this as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yep. Well, I'm going to be out of commission, so regardless. So what goodest time is this? Alright, let's see. 13. Oof.
Nice.
13. The shadows begin to coalesce. First out of the ring, slowly, and then from the back of your neck. And then almost like the storm, the clouds above start to circle and pull in. You feel the wind. All of you would feel the wind at this point rising, circling around. You've all felt hurricanes before. It feels like that rising, that feel of it on the horizon. It's not here yet, but you feel it coming. And then there's just a wave of smoke envelop Corinne as she is unfortunately crushed and down to 1 harm.
Yep.
And a figure of smoke and shadow with large sweeping horns, a very stylish frock coat, velveteen in appearance, kind of stands over the collapsed form of Corinne as her beloved manifests in this world, and just kind of negligently smirks, looks around, looks at all of you, and gestures to the ship that's coming towards you. And you see where, just as it's sailing down, the waters begin to swirl around it, and it gets pulled, and you see the crew of this ship of the line fighting to keep the vessel stable, but the maelstrom pulls it down and pulls it in. And then the demon smiles and looks at the rest of you, and there's another negligent gesture, and
I'm using Lieutenant Fitzjeffries. I've lifted him up with one hand as like a, there's just a body between us. Yeah, that's fine.
You see the waters begin to coalesce, and figures that were on this ship that you are on slowly start to just kind of fall, one, then another, as this kind of fog ripples out from this smoke-like figure. The cannons stop firing. Everyone just kind of falls just as the captain reaches the top of the deck, looks out. You've got one hand on the, like, to pull yourself up and over, do the jump aboard. And you see everyone in a British uniform or wearing British colors just collapse to the ground. And you see Steve, Captain, with this weapon that he's picked up. It looks odd to your eyes, but you don't see it glowing. Because, you don't have certain abilities. And he's kind of standing at the prow, looking slightly concerned. And this figure with large, curling horns and a kind of soft, indulgent smile on its face. You can just see a single fang coming down from the top, piercing through a canine. And he kind of leans over Corinne and just takes the back of his hand and brushes across her cheek. And then the figure fades. And you are the only people conscious, breathing on this ship.
What the absolute hell happened?
Am I to assume we are out of danger
Oh,
for
yeah.
now? So we have, the other ship is done, though.
It got sucked into a maelstrom.
Yep. That got sucked into a maelstrom. I've got this weird ragtag group of former members of the ship that everyone's standing on. Steve has a weird weapon. I don't know if the captain's going to approach. I think she's just going to halt her little new crew. Just say, like, give it a second.
Oh, they're unconscious.
Oh. I don't think I realized that as I, like, hold my hand up and go, like, oh. Ahoy up there! What the hell?
Corinne is also unconscious.
Yep.
Corinne
I
is at one
definitely-
arm. She is unconscious, but breathing.
Broke
Looking just
Lieutenant
like
she's-
Jeffrey's nose. It's like crooked from pocket brick impact. It's messy.
How's
But
the
he's-
swallow?
Coming about just now. You see it.
I think I'll grab Fitzjeffrey's arms and I'll wave to Isaac with it, like on ship, like Isaac.
Isaac, you would see Josephine kind of waving at you frantically from the ship. She kind of stands out.
Like when you do that with the cats, like
Uh huh.
Well, we can always ransom Fitzjeffrey.
Mhm.
Is he still alive?
It's not as pretty though. I broke his nose.
Is
He
he
wasn't
still
pre-
breathing?
Yes, he is still breathing.
He's alive. What about Corinne?
But last time I saw her like that, she was still breathing too.
Yes, and this time she is still breathing, but she doesn't look as ratchet as the last time.
Okay.
She actually looks like she just fell asleep.
Okay.
Very,
Oh.
like, and with a little smile on her face.
Mm. Like, it freaks me out more if she was looking awful.
But Isaac, while these have taken control of this ship, you see Josie waving at you.
She looks very happy to see you.
The other ship was Ignatius's steel ship.
These were both flying under British naval colors.
We have no idea if they have any connection to steel.
I see. Well, Eddie, it looks like they have it under control. Let's, men, everything is fine. Let's just turn about and we'll go pick them up and we'll be good. Knew this was going to happen all along.
You knew this was going to happen all along. You deviate course and start sailing in to pull alongside and find a shallow that you can weigh anchor in. You see Kanari and Steve kind of like wave at you. The Epee pulls drifts over and weighs anchor. And as you all kind of relax, the ship, the threats are currently gone and out of the way. Nathaniel, your pocket starts to heat a little bit. And you just hear, well, it's been some time since I've had that amount of fun. What are we going to do for an encore, do you think?
Who the fuck are you?
And on that is where we're going to end it for today.
No.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you to all of you for the subs, the enormous amount of subs. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the donations. I am Simon at Wandering DM. This has been Ripscallion, our Black Flag campaign. Thank you to all of our sponsors, Magent Press, Found Familiar, Roll20, and our partners through the Diceomancy program, Level Up Dice. But before we leave, I would just like to go around the table, tell us who you are. Where can we find you on the internet? What do you have going on in your lives that you would like to plug or talk about? Remember, you can post links in the chat. We'll start with Quentin, and we'll do the same order as the intros.
Okay, so Quentin, real life, Thragon on Twitter and in the chat. I have absolutely nothing going on online. I'm so busy in real life that I got nothing except this show. So what I want you to do, watchers, is follow everybody else around me like 3 times with all of your Twitter accounts, and then retweet and like all their stuff because they're amazing. That's what I want. Ding.
Cool. Alyssa.
I'm also in the same boat as Quentin, where my real life is insane and busy, and so this is the only thing I have. This is my one beacon of light. It's true. You can follow me like Twitter, or Twitch. I'm Xander Slamilton. I'm just here. If I'm not here, I am unfortunately slogging through the reckoning that is public radio right now. So follow all of these more interesting and exciting people, please.
Lindy.
Everything's picking back up for me, and I don't mean in real life because, like, what? I just garden and pet my cat in real life. There's nothing I do. So online, you can find me on my channel now on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Possibly more soon. And you can find me on the weekend and a little bit throughout the week on other people's channels, like Cthulhu on Encounter Roleplay. You can find me on Witcher on Sundays. You can find me on Zweihander tomorrow, on Tabletop to Keyboard, and more to come, but I can't announce it yet. So, redacted. Stay tuned. It's gonna be awesome. Love being back. I'm so happy. I love this pirate crew. We're just the worst, and it's the best.
And Shauna.
Likewise, I'm busy, but I am so glad. I miss this everyone here for the short break, but I'm glad we get to do pirate stuff again. But yeah, I'm Shauna Flying Cirrus on Twitter, where I have the games I play and the art that I do, including on this channel I do the art for the Dragon Age game that's on Thursdays. And see me next. I am on the Crownlands on Encounter Roleplay, as just I bring disaster to my house on the Crownlands. Poor House Tremaine and poor Aster, the head of house. I've just given such a hard time, but I will not be on this week. But I get in, some other people will be on this week to give my family some, maybe a hard time. Who knows? But after that, on the Encounter Roleplay as well, it is sort of K-less on Thursdays, where we're a bunch of Klingons, and I think we have tribbles on our ship, so it's our mortal enemies.
Tribbles are the best.
We are never going to be allowed in Klingon space again because our ship has been contaminated by the plague of little furry like dust balls. So there we go.
Let's scream at Klingons.
Yeah. Constant screaming.
Now I have the song The Trouble with Tribble in my mind. In my head. Which, if you've never heard it, I suggest you go check it out. It's cool. It's by a...
It's fine. It's only gonna get stuck in your head.
Yes.
They will never leave. Like
but-
tribbles.
Deirdre.
Much like tribbles.
Hey y'all, you know me. I'm at Deirdre Dunlin on Twitter or Praxagorth as Miaphorias. You see me around on Twitch. And yeah, unfortunately, I won't get to play with Shauna on the Crown Lands on Monday, but I will be on Encounter Roleplay at 3 p.m. on Monday playing, a daughter of House Baratheon, and I'm quite sure that it doesn't matter whatsoever. The Storm's End is a wonderful place, and we'll be quite glad to provide all of the possible hospitality to Allegra Dorsey, and even that personage that she's bringing with her. Maybe. If they don't end up dead. But you can also find me then, that's 3 p.m. Eastern on Encounter Roleplay, and then you can find me here on Monday night for Castle Falkenstein as we continue our adventures in the joy that is Venice and the Contessa Lucrezia Sofia Fioravanti. And you can then find me on Wednesday over on Lindy's channel for some Witcher, Family of Wraiths. Hey Tesla. Hey Tesla. And then back here on Thursday for some Dragon Age. And if you don't know, I love the art that Shauna did of my wonderful, wonderful sneaky stabby bitch, Marisa, who apparently people are afraid of. And I don't understand that. She's nice. And then Friday's back here for Cyberpunk, and Trins is going through some stuff.
Yeah, I might have done damage. Before we go, because I don't need to plug anything that's happening on this channel for next week, because basically Deirdre announced everything.
I could stop doing that if you want me to.
No, please. So before we leave, let's go raid our friend Jess at GoJG. She's currently playing tabletop games. So let's go say hi, spread the love, and we will be back next week. Ciao, everyone.
We're gone.